Let's talk about anthracite. Welcome to Warped Legacy. Alright, this is the second video in the Forge Fuel series that I'm doing with Roy Adams from Christ-Centered Ironworks. This is the first video I've done that is a specific fuel, and the fuel in this video is anthracite coal. So first off, let's do just a little bit of review. Anthracite is the highest grade of coal that's used for heating. Technically, graphite is also a form of coal, but we don't use it for heating because it takes more energy to burn it than the energy you get out of it when you burn it. So you wouldn't be getting heat, it would just be eating heat. The coal that I'm going to be using here is nut-size anthracite coal from Tractor Supply. Now this stuff is really hard to light. It's pretty much impossible to light with paper. If you want to see somebody trying to light it with paper, head over to Roy's channel and watch his anthracite video, and he tries to light it with paper. So we are going to skip straight to lighting it with charcoal, which is what you see here in the forge. Later we're going to do a video where we just forge with charcoal, but for now we're just using this to light the anthracite. And I just used a torch to light the charcoal. You already saw that a while ago. So now we have the blower on low, getting the charcoal burning really good. Because like I said, this stuff is very hard to light. And that was just me playing because it's cold outside, playing with my breath. I had audio with this to begin with, but it didn't go over very well. So I'm doing a voiceover now, and I'm probably going to do that for the rest of them just because it's going to be easier. So here in a minute, I am going to pull up a bucket of anthracite coal. And hey, there's the bucket. Now, all we're going to do is dump the bucket on the table and then surround this fire with the anthracite just like you would if you were trying to light any other coal. Get the fuel you're trying to light on top of the fire that's already there. And here we're going to start running into one of the other major differences between anthracite coal and bituminous coal. When you light bituminous coal, you get a lot of smoke. When you light anthracite coal, it doesn't have as many impurities in it. It doesn't have as many other things to burn off. So you don't get as much smoke when you are lighting anthracite coal. Most of the smoke you're seeing in this video is coming either from the charcoal that's still burning underneath or from water vapor evaporating off of the coal because the coal is still kind of wet because I store it outside. The coal being wet doesn't hurt it at all. It just makes it take a little bit longer to actually light. And you can see I'm having a little trouble with my draft. You know how things go. Things work perfect until you turn the camera on. So I'm just going to take some newspaper and light it on fire and throw it in the back and try to get the draft going a little bit better. But the first time here, I light it and throw it back, and I threw it back too fast and put the fire out as I threw it back. So now the paper is just sitting in the back. But I get it sorted out eventually. Alright, so let's move on to some other quirks about anthracite. Anthracite likes a lot of air. It needs a lot of oxygen to start burning and to continue burning. And it takes quite a while to get it started. A lot of times when you're being taught how to use bituminous coal, you'll be told to turn the blower off so you don't waste your fuel. That doesn't really work with anthracite coal. With anthracite, you have to have the blower on pretty much all the time because if you turn the blower off and the fire cools down, it still won't light up again even when it's still glowing a little bit. I've had times where I thought the fire was still lit, where it was still glowing that dull glow, and I turned the blower back on and all it did was cool off the coal faster. Anthracite likes a lot of air and it likes a lot of heat, and you've got to treat it completely different than you treat bituminous coal or any other source of fuel. Now I am pulling up pieces of half burnt coal because one of the things about anthracite is while it is really, really hard to light, once it's lit and it burns a little bit, that stuff is actually even harder to keep lit. So to keep your fire at a proper temperature, you have to continue to add fresh coal to the top at the right time. And I really can't tell you the right way to do it. I haven't been given the right way to do it. You just kind of get a feel for it after a while, and you know it's about time you need to add some more to the top. I haven't figured out any formula other than you kind of notice when your fire isn't quite as efficient as it was before. And the more you do it, the quicker you catch it and the less time you lose waiting for your fire to build back up. In my last Forge Fuel video, Shadowcaster left a comment, and they said to get the most out of any fuel, it must be managed according to its needs. And I really like that. That is where most experienced smiths run into the issue when they talk about anthracite and how bad it is. Because most of the time when people are talking very, very bad about anthracite, it's because they're trying to treat it like bituminous coal. And as I have already said, they are completely different fuel sources and they need to be managed according to their needs. And a lot of these differences we've been talking about is a big reason that anthracite is marketed as home heating coal. Anthracite has a higher BTU rating than bituminous coal, which means you get more heat per pound with anthracite than you do with bituminous. But to get that heat efficiently, you need to burn it continuously, not bring it up to heat and then take it down, and then up to heat and take it down. And that's why this coal works good for things like outdoor boilers. Because with outdoor boilers, most of the time you want to burn really hot and really fast. Because for the most part, the hotter the fire is, the more efficient the fire is, and the more energy you can extract from the fuel that you put in. And now I'm going to switch this over to normal speed. I've been playing it twice as fast, but when I stick this thing in the fire, it's going to be real time, even though it looks like slow motion now because you've been watching it fast. This is real time because I want you to see how fast this piece got from basically cold. I poked the fire the one time just a minute ago, you saw that. But other than that, this was a cold piece of stock, and I wanted you to see how long it took to get it from cold to glowing and ready to forge. That was not in there very long. That's just the tip. It's a small piece, but that was not very much time at all. Anthracite fires are very hot, and it's very easy to burn your stock because it has a bad combination of being very hot and very oxygen rich because you need to pump so much air through it to keep the anthracite going. So the hotter it is, the faster it burns, and the more oxygen there is, the faster it burns. So you got to be careful when you're using anthracite to forge. Thank you for visiting Warp Legacy. If you like this video, hit that like button and let me know in the comments. And if you haven't done it yet, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell for notifications. And if you like what we're doing here at Warp Legacy, head over to our Patreon page and show us some support there. Until next time, I'm Twan. Go define your legacy. And go check out Roy's other videos about forge fuels. He's doing alternative forge fuels.